Alright, this video is a little more thorough about the Golden Gate Bridge spell and the coverage that it had been receiving. And just a little bit, there's a lot in this, hopefully short video I'm going to make. And I'm just showing two things. And one is the last video I saw, I already showed this from Slick Dissident. And he's talking about the bridge in accordance with the Venom movie, something with Joe Rogan and Horse Dewormer. When I talked about his channel last time, I did not do it justice. I can't do it justice now. The threads that he pulls together and finds in things are amazing. There's a whole bunch of people who do it. They call themselves weavers. There's a YouTube channel or channel, maybe a show, maybe it's a show called Weaving Spiders. I've actually never seen that show, but there's a lot of such people like this guy who like to tie the threads of narrative together, because like I said, everything's based on numerology and the tarot, and it spans multiple languages, and it's pretty intense. But anyway, here's what he has to say about the Venom and Bridge stuff.
The Venom film is going to be a sublimated Joe Rogan masculinity chalice cup vessel of vitriol. He took the horse dewormer, so now in Venom, the symbiote relationship of the death drive is going to be engaged.
All right, so I'm not sure what he's referring to there. I haven't seen enough of his stuff lately to know what that reference is. But apparently Joe Rogan has something to do with this. And
as the main character is wearing the smiley face killer bridge collapse shirt, Wittgenstein and Turin had an argument that if there was a false component in mathematics, that the bridge would collapse.
All right, so that might have something to do with the whole Terrence Howard thing that's going on now. Because when he was on Joe Rogan, talking to Eric Weinstein, and I guess Terrence Howard was on Joe Rogan talking about his actual mathematics and stuff that he had worked out or previously. And I guess maybe I need to go find that episode and see what it's about. But I kind of think that story is just a distraction right now, so I'm not going to do that now. But the bridge will fall if there's an error in mathematics, and Terrence Howard that's his main thing, is that there's an error in mathematics. And I think it's, like I said, Eric Weinstein does not allow him to talk very much in that video, so I don't really know what he's getting at. But from what I can gather, you can't represent nothing in nature. Nothing can ever exist as nothing. There always has to be something. So zero is the flaw in mathematics, and the Francis Scott Key Bridge did fall down. So is that indicating that there is in fact a flaw in the mathematical system that we've been given? And because of that zero not supposed to be there or whatever, I guess there's a problem with the number 2 as well, and the fact that it's a prime but shouldn't be a prime, or anyway, it basically upends the whole numeric system that we use. And Terrence says it's for something better that makes more sense with the natural world. Math actually matches what's around us rather than what we're taught, which is has no real use in reality, I guess Terrence would argue. Anyway, that's what this is. Maybe what he's referring. I don't think he knows he's talking about Terrence Howard right now, but I think the narrative does. And maybe by now he knows. I think by now he must know that he's talking about Terrence. But I haven't seen a recent video. Actually, Slick Dissident said he was taking some time off, so I think he's currently on sabbatical. So.
Wittgenstein believed the bridge would stand. Turin said the bridge would collapse if there was a lie within the fundamentals of math. Blows my mind how these things are acting out on a hyperstitious level. We need to throw metaphor out the window, y'all. Metaphor for chumps. We're in the age of hyperstition.
All right, we're in the age of hyperstition. So that's from that video. I wanted to show that, so he doesn't mention Golden Gate Bridge. He says the smiley face killer bridge collapse shirt. And the bridge that we know of that collapsed is Francis Scott Key Bridge. Like I said, this is from 3 weeks ago. You can see right there. He does not get many views. His content is for people who, let's just say they are above average in intelligence, to be sure. All right, so is Owen Benjamin from, well, it's not Owen Benjamin really that I'm focusing on here. It's this guy. Christopher Gardner is his name. He goes by the name Topher. He is the Biocharisma podcast. He builds domes, and he's the one who interviewed Jerry Marzinski. So I kept listening to him actually longer than I listened to Owen, and I still tune in whenever I know that Gardner has been on Owen, I'll tune in just to see what he's saying because, well, just like Bing and Reddit.com homepage, this guy is responsible for feeding a certain people a certain type of person what the narrative wants them to know. He is one of Owen Benjamin's handlers, and that is going to be made clear in this clip that I'm about to play when they're talking about the bridge. This is from April. Oh God, it's episode 1920, and I believe it's from April. Yeah, here it is streamed on April 2nd. So this is from April 2nd, right before the eclipse, and he's talking about the eclipse in here. And the eclipse was the 8th, and the bridge, St. Francis Scott Key Bridge, went down on the 26th. So watch this interaction and understand. Owen's got his smart boy glasses on today, so he's a smart boy today, and you can tell he's very worried about the narrative and what's going on. He does not have as much information as Christopher Gardner has, and Christopher Gardner, by the way, fully admits that his grandfather was a Nazi eugenicist, a Nazi scientist eugenicist during World War II. So there's that. All right, so let's listen. They're talking about the eclipse and the X pattern that was made by this eclipse, and the last one before it made an X over North America. And so he's talking about North America here. So
I think the big thing for us as North Americans in this is like, I think this is like, if you have not been going through the apocalypse the last 4 years, your apocalypse.
Oh, hold on. I should slow that down. I listen to everything on double speed. So if you're listening to me on double speed, you just got times forward by that guy. So hold on.
Starts on the 8th.
Okay. Here we go.
And what I mean by apocalypse, I'm not talking about it from the evangelical perspective. I'm talking about the apocalypse as like the revealing of the truth. Like, this is what is so. And what is so in times past, whenever you have an X going over a continent, there's usually a huge change of guard in the economic and power structure of that continent.
Do you think it'll come with an event, or do you think it's just going to be like some behind the scenes stuff?
All right, so Owen just asked if this changing of the guard is going to come with an event. And you can see in Christopher Gardner's eyes, he's already trying to signal to Owen, do not talk about the bridge. And I believe it's because it is supposed to, at this point, as of April 2nd of this year, long ago was the time to stop talking about the bridge. Because Owen did stop talking about it. He was talking about it 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And then he stopped. And then someone's about to actually super chat in and egg Owen on a little more. But you can see Gardner's already starting to give him the eyes, and watch when he's about to make a signal over his mouth. The cover the mouth, as in don't talk about this. Here we go. There's a signal. Don't talk.
Well, I think there will be an event. I don't think it's going to be on the 8th per se.
No, it's not going to be on April 8th, the event. It's going to be on potentially tonight. Sunset tonight, Pacific time. July 4th. That could be when it is. What do you think, Topher?
Like, once again, the North American adrenalized thing is like, okay, the apocalypse or the eclipse just happened. So, okay, when's the next, freight train going to hit something? Like, there's that Vin Diesel, explosion thing going on all the time in the North American mind. It was like what happened in 2019, right? In 2019, the banks go direct.
Oh, just real quick, go to...
All right, so here's the super chat. Oh, God, I'm holding with my left hand, and I'm so tired and shaking. I'm sorry about that. But this is the best tech I have. All right. Yeah, I've been holding the phone for a while. All right, so so he's about to mention it now. And someone's asking about the bridge, and Owen is going to try to play it off like, oh, yeah, I remember I talked about the Golden Gate Bridge a while ago. It turns out I was wrong. Wrong bridge, guys. It's just the FS Key Bridge. And during the whole thing that he's talking about, watch Christopher Gardner's covering the mouth signal get more and more intense. I think this is pretty funny.
Bear says Golden Gate Bridge collapsing. I just want to point out that the major
Topher's like, how dare you talk about this?
Which was that Baltimore Bridge. I didn't get the bridge right.
Covering his mouth with a coffee cup.
See a lot of bridge symbolism, and there was a bizarre bridge event. So I'm not taking full credit because it wasn't the Golden Gate
Cover the mouth.
Bridge.
Stop talking.
But that tanker bridge implosion, I've never seen
talking,
any
Owen.
like that seemed very odd and very planned. And I just want to point out
Stop talking,
that
Owen.
I did point
Cover
out
the mouth, Owen.
It's a base hit. It's not a home run, but I pointed out the bridge symbolism. Anyway, go on. Sorry about that.
Well, that transit. I mean, I think.
All right. So there you go. Gardner wanted that to stay in everyone's subconscious, and thanks to the super chat and Owen not really following his playbook very closely, that's what we get. So take that for whatever you think that meant, but I believe that is Topher trying to handle Owen and corral him back in. You can see Owen's expression while he talks about it, and go ahead and watch the video again. He knows that Gardner's signaling to him. He's like, all right, that's all I wanted to say. Like, his face is red. Your face is red because you blush because you're trying to think, because all the blood goes to your head, so you can try to think. How do I get out of this? And Topher's pretty red too because he was like, think. I'm covering my mouth, and he's still not shutting up. All right, so there's that. Hope everyone's doing well out there, even though the world maybe is just starting to become a big scary show to people right now. But I promise it's not that scary, and you don't have to follow this narrative. You can make your own story, and people like this don't get to have any authority over you.